49er Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. Before we start the video, sorry if you can hear a lot of this background noise going on. I'm currently on the interstate. But either way, I wanted to come on here and talk about if Kyle Shanahan is scapegoating Steve Wilks or not, because I've seen a lot of things about people disagreeing on how Kyle Shanahan has kind of talked about the whole situation with Steve Wilks' questionable, controversial call. 16 seconds left to go until halftime in the Minnesota Vikings game just this past Monday night. So pretty much, I've been seeing a lot of things on Twitter about how Kyle Shanahan shouldn't have aired out Steve Wilks the way he did. He shouldn't have said that, that call shouldn't have been called, and that Kyle Shanahan is the head coach and he has a headset. Therefore, if he really didn't like that play call, he should have vetoed that call and called something else. Some of that can be true, but I don't necessarily think Kyle Shanahan is scapegoating the defense of Steve Wilks. Here's the problem. The 49ers defense has obviously been the weakest. It's been the weakest part of the 49ers team for the past couple of weeks, and that's like without a doubt. Now, when Steve Wilks called zero blitz with 16 seconds left until halftime just this past Monday night, it obviously resulted in a 60-yard touchdown from Jordan Addison, obviously ripping the ball out of Charvarius Ward's hands. So, here's the thing. Steve Wilks came out and said yesterday that he's still trying to learn the 49ers defense, learn what their weaknesses are opposed to their strengths. That could be true as well. Steve Wilks is coming from a Carolina defense that is much different in terms of obviously the players. The 49ers defense clearly is like light years ahead of the Panthers defense, and I'm not like trying to diss the Carolina Panthers defense. I'm just kind of calling it how it is. Like the 49ers just have the much more complete defense from top to bottom. So is Kyle Shanahan, or is Steve Wilks, with Steve Wilks trying to learn the strengths and the weaknesses of the defense, is that probably a reason why, the 49ers defense has been so bad over the past couple of weeks? It could be. I think it definitely could be. But I think with Steve Wilks coming over from Carolina, I think he knows that the whole reason the 49ers defense has had so much success over the past couple of years has strictly just been because of their defensive line. It all starts with the defensive line. And the fact that the 49ers didn't have any sacks Monday night. I believe they've had 2 total sacks over the past couple of games, which is completely unheard of, especially for the 49ers defense, knowing how loaded and talented and how quickly those guys on the defensive line can get to the quarterback. So he probably knows that, right? He probably knows that, it all starts with the defensive line. That's what the 49ers' success on the defense has started with the past 2-3 years. So is Kyle Shanahan scapegoating Steve Wilks because of his defensive play calling? I don't think he is, to be completely honest. I get why people are saying that, though, because Kyle obviously publicly came out and said, during that, I don't have a problem with zero blitz play calls, but during that point in time of the game, that can't happen. And it's true. Kyle's just basically calling it how it is. He also mentioned that Steve Wilks knows he messed up that play call. Steve Wilks publicly came out and said as well that he knows he messed up the play call. So I don't necessarily think Kyle Shanahan is scapegoating Steve Wilks. If he was scapegoating Steve Wilks, I think what Kyle Shanahan would say would look more like, the defense has been the main reason we haven't won over the past couple of games. He would be more specific about why the 49ers aren't winning, and that's not exactly what he's doing. So I don't think that just because, some of the words that Kyle Shanahan has said over the past couple of days means that he's scapegoating Steve Wilks. Look, Kyle Shanahan is the head coach of the football team. Could he have vetoed that call when, that call, when it came through the headset that Steve Wilks was calling a zero blitz with 16 seconds left in the half? He probably could have, but I think Kyle Shanahan also, when it comes to Kyle, I think he obviously runs the entire offense. I think with the defense, I don't think he's really involved that much when it comes to that. He doesn't need to be involved like that. I think he probably put his full trust in Steve Wilks, like any other head coach probably would, and, the play didn't work out. And then after the fact, obviously Kyle said that, he doesn't have a problem calling that play, but with 16 seconds left, that just can't happen. So, look, had Charvarius Ward broke up that pass or tackled Jordan Addison, when that play happened, that would be a completely different story because nobody would really be talking about if Kyle is scapegoating Steve Wilks or not. So, I think this thing is kind of being blown up a little too much, in my opinion. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. What's already happened has happened. There's no really need to kind of rest on this situation and continue to talk about it nonstop. Kyle's not scapegoating Steve Wilks by any means. I think, like I said, it's more so of a thing where he's just kind of calling it how it is. And Kyle can do that. He basically said he didn't agree with the play call. That's not necessarily scapegoating Steve Wilks in any way, shape, or form. So, I think people are blowing this up a little too much, to be completely honest. Like I said, I don't think it really needs to be talked about this much. What's happened has happened. It's over with. The 49ers don't need to keep dwelling on that play because it's already happened. We've already lost the game. Move on, focus on Cincinnati, focus on getting back on track and winning. And defense, focus on maybe getting to the quarterback next week. Like I said, this 49ers defensive struggle, or their struggles over the past couple weeks, it's going to change. The 49ers defense is a very much so an elite defense, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form this 49ers defense is going to continue to struggle like they have struggled. So, has the defense been underwhelming? Absolutely. I've been saying that, all week long over the past couple weeks. But at the same time, this defense is going to figure it out. I have no doubt about that. I think Sunday we're going to see, adjustments in coverages. Obviously against the Cleveland Browns, the 49ers gave up a lot of rushing yards. They give up a lot of rushing yards to Alexander Mattison, and I think that has something to do with the cornerbacks, being in the box too much. Look, I don't think that this 49ers defense is going to continue to struggle like they have been. They're going to figure it out. They're going to get back on track, and I think the perfect game to do that is against the Cincinnati Bengals, especially if Brock Purdy doesn't play. We need like a 2-3 sack game from Nick Bosa, maybe get a strip sack or something like that. I think this game against the Cincinnati Bengals is one game that the 49ers need to look at and say, okay, look, we need to get to the quarterback this game. We need to help out the offense as much as we can. And we still don't have any word on Brock Purdy, of course. So, obviously Sam Darnold is in line to be the starter, but that hasn't been obviously official yet, especially knowing that Brock Purdy practiced yesterday. Again, I'm not really worried about the defense at all. They're going to figure it out. Steve Wilks will make adjustments. As far as getting back on track, this game against the Cincinnati Bengals is the perfect game to do so. So, Kyle Shanahan's not scapegoating nobody. He's basically calling it how it is, and there's really nothing to say other than that. Again, I think it's just being blown up a little too much. So, let it go. 49ers need to move on anyway. They have a big game against the Bengals coming up. Defense should get back on track against the Bengals. It's the perfect game to do so. So, as always, go Niners. And I will see you guys in the next one.